Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. I miss this so much, I cannot wait. McGilded is most likely burnt up into a crisp, and we met some interesting characters who look like they work with Herlock, so, you know, I'm excited. Alright, let's continue. Episode 4. The Adventure of the Clouded Kokoro. I think that's heart, right? Heart or soul?
I begin to think, Wilson, said Sholmes, turning his head languidly in my direction, that there is more to this case than that which we have observed. Indeed, that there may be another part to this story that we are yet to discover. His eyes wandered, following the steam rising from his cup of herbal tea, leading him to the distant memory of that snowy evening. To the young lady collapsed on the pavement along Briar Road, and to the knife in her back. Lit in the soft glow of gas lamps, a most extraordinary scene had been set. And under the cover of a light fog, the curtain had risen silently on the insoluble mystery of our invisible killer.
Did you sleep last night, Mr. Naruhodo? No, not at all. It was an enormous hotel, wasn't it? The rooms were so luxurious. The rooms were so luxurious. I felt like we were staying in a palace. And with all the gas lights twinkling, it was brighter than a day even in the middle of the night. What about the enormous beds? After my time on the SS Burya, I was going to waste a single inch of that space. I spent the entire night rolling from one side of the mattress to the other. Oh, yes. It really was a sort of night you can only dream of normally. Except, when I learned that we owed £3 for the rooms, that dream quickly turned into a nightmare. Oh, sorry about that. The building was so impressive and the entrance so inviting, I just wandered in without thinking. In a lodging house in Japan, that sum of money would put a roof over your head for a whole year. Oh no, she's crying! I did try, but I'm afraid I couldn't help my tears when we were presented with the bill. Ugh, I really am sorry, Suzato-san. Well, never mind. We must find some more affordable lodging straight away, though. If we're not careful, our entire stipend will be used up in 10 days or less. London is a scary place.
Ah, good morning to you at this early hour.
It's scary, dude, right? Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah. Good morning to you, Lord Chief Justice. We have come to report on the outcome of the trial at the Old Bailey yesterday. Suzato-san is amazing. She doesn't bat an eyelid, even in the presence of the imposing Lord Strongheart. Yeah, that's his name.
Yes, I believe you had a very comprehensive initiation to British courtroom practices.
Oh yeah, it was very, eye-opening. Thanks. And, in accordance with your instructions, Lord Strongheart, Mr. Naruhodo performed his duty to the end.
Yes, I have already been apprised of the events. You conducted a remarkable defense. You may consider the test passed.
Oh!
No longer are you a student from the Empire of Japan. You may henceforth claim to be a fully fledged lawyer. My country is delighted to welcome young talent from such a remote eastern island.
Land. Thanks. So, I'm a lawyer now, huh?
Now, in view of your new appointment, I have a fresh case in mind for you. I'd like you to take it on at once. I trust that won't be a problem.
Another case? I just did mine.
Nothing trains a lawyer better than practical experience. I'm sure. I don't sense dissatisfaction, do I?
Sure, but can I get an innocent client this time? It's just that yesterday's trial ended unusually. I haven't quite come to terms with it yet.
What's to come to terms with? The man was cleared. He was cleared from this earth. What more were you hoping for?
Not another murder? Yeah, evil laughing, sir. That doesn't help. sir.
What the heck?
I just can't help but wondering if Mr. McGilda really was innocent. Mr. Naruhodo, it's just that I never managed to ascertain the truth. And then the trial ended.
Well, you needn't let it trouble you for a second longer.
Huh? What do you mean, Lord Strongheart? Oh wait, do we not know yet? Did no one tell us?
Jeez. Magnus McGilded passed away immediately following the trial.
No. Wait, what? Mr. McGilded is dead?
I have 19 minutes and 41 seconds until my next engagement. Time enough to talk.
I mean, don't talk for 19 minutes, please. That'll be like half this video here. Wait, I don't get it. What happened? How can he be dead?
After the trial concluded yesterday, there was a great commotion in the Old Bailey.
How did I not know of this?
As you presumably recall, the omnibus had been wheeled into the courtroom.
Yeah, of course. That was the scene of the crime, which Mr. McGilda had been accused of.
Precisely. Well, while the bailiff's attention was diverted by some other matter, the omnibus went up in flames.
Wait, what? How could such a thing have happened?
That is being investigated as we speak, but already. The police have identified a corpse found inside the charred shell of the carriage as that of Mr. McGilded.
Wait, that's awful.
The man must have slipped inside whilst the bailiff's attention was elsewhere.
That bailiff really needs to pay more attention. And how could that have happened?
That is also being investigated as we speak.
Thinking back now, immediately after the trial, Mr. McGilda did mention going back into the courtroom to look at the omnibus.
An inspection of the omnibus? Not to my knowledge. I don't believe Scotland Yard had any intention of re-examining the carriage.
Wait, but then who is Mr. McGilda talking about?
Never mind that now. The Yard is making a thorough investigation. This matter is no longer any concern of yours. Leave it to the police.
Poor Mr. McGilded. Could you perhaps give us more details about the new case you mentioned? Ugh, don't tell me. Is it a murder and the trial starts in 10 minutes again?
Don't worry. It's nothing so alarming or quite so urgent as your last assignment.
Thanks.
In fact, this case is completely different. It is still a murder trial.
Oh, I see. Did you just read my mind?
That's to say, no one has died as yet.
Oh, okay, cool.
And the trial will not be today. There's plenty of time to research the case.
I get to research a case for once. This is exciting.
23 hours, 43 minutes, and 19 seconds to be precise.
So the trial's tomorrow, huh? Ugh, fine. Is everything alright? Oh, yeah, it's just, I'm a little confused, that's all. Yesterday's trial was, well, it left me wondering if I'm really cut out for being a lawyer. Oh, Mr. Naruhodo. I don't know if I could face standing in a courtroom again after Mr. McGilda's trial.
Ah yes, I nearly forgot. There is one similarity with yesterday's case.
Yeah?
Once again, there is currently no one to advocate for the defense.
Huh?
If the situation remains unchanged, the trial will start tomorrow with the defendant unrepresented. And if that happens, I need not remind you of the inevitable outcome.
The most terrible end awaits the defendant.
Yes, that's right.
Here we go again. I feel the chemicals kicking in.
Your time is up.
Was that 19 minutes? No, but that was pretty dang close. I'm gonna edit that shorter.
You will have to excuse me. I would advise you to begin making preparations for tomorrow's trial. After all, the clock is ever ticking.
I mean, you gotta give me an info.
There is now but 23 hours, 26 minutes, and 39 seconds until the court sits.
he said there was plenty of time, you liar.
And one more thing, Mr. Naruhodo. There is something I should like to ask you.
Sure, what is it?
Yesterday, you remarked upon something. That you intend to see through the will of your late compatriot, Mr. Asogi.
Yeah?
I would be interested to hear what exactly you mean by that.
I don't know what I mean by that.
Inside 34 seconds.
Oh, well, Cosmo used to always say, you see, that he wanted to learn how the greatest justice system in the world worked so he could change ours in Japan. Now that he's gone, I'd like to work towards that myself. And there's another thing. Oh!
Another thing? Continue.
On the way here on the steamship, he said something to me. Something very important I have to do.
Something very important. And what exactly would that be?
He never had the chance to tell me. I suppose he would have done if he ever made it to Great Britain.
You're out of time. Well, thank you for enlightening discussion.
Mr. Naruhodo, what's all this about? Mr. Asogi never once mentioned anything of the sort to me. And we probably shouldn't have told this guy either.
I urge you both to focus your attentions on the matter at hand.
Oh. I was like, wait, is that Holmes? Not Holmes, Watson?
I've taken the liberty of summoning the police inspector in charge of the case. He'll be able to apprise you of the details.
How long has he been standing there?
So, I wish you the best of luck, and bid you farewell.
Hi? There's something very important that I have to do. Kazuma-sama, what did you mean? I wish I knew, but honestly, he never told me. Anyway, we had better talk to the detective, don't you think? Yes, you're right. I hope I'm just imagining it, but I wouldn't say he looks pleased to see us at all. Can we trouble you?
What do you think?
What do you think? Oh, lovely weather, isn't it?
What's the weather have to do with anything? Listen to me, you young Japanese upstart. Some frippery about the weather doesn't get every English gent eaten out of your hand, you know?
But Suzato-san told me it was foolproof.
I'm a busy man. I'm a very busy man. There's a crime scene to investigate, and I'm here having the likes of you talking to.
Oh, I'm ever so sorry.
Can you imagine what the other officers there will be saying, Haven't seen Gregson anywhere, have you? Nah, he's too busy with the bigwigs these days. And all because of some bumpkin who's here on a jaunt from a country I never even heard of.
Wow, dude.
Hear that ripping sound? That's a reputation of the yard going to taters.
Tatters. There's no need to rip us apart as well. I don't believe we've been introduced. This is Mr. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, a defense lawyer.
Eh?
It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I'm Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant.
Eh?
It's lovely weather having today, isn't it?
Also, sir, you have zero chin. It's unreasonable fine, I grant you. London winters don't see a lot of sunshine.
Huh? How'd she pull it off?
So, Lord Strongheart has asked me to fill you in on the case. The name's Tobias Gregson, Inspector Gregson to you. I'm from Scotland Yard.
Gregson? Oh, Inspector Gregson. What's the matter, Suzato-san? Does this detective's name mean something to her? Hey, sir? Inspector? Are you perhaps the Inspector Gregson?
Eh?
You're acting like you know this man, Miss Suzato, but he's a London detective. Oh, I do know him. Very well, in fact. Very well? Yes. He features prominently in the adventures of Herlock Sholmes. Oh, in that publication. What's it called again? Brand's Magazine? That's right. Inspector Gregson and Mr. Sholmes enjoy a wonderful friendly rivalry. Really? You rival the great Mr. Sholmes? That's incredible.
Oh, well, I don't know about that. Mr. Sholmes is unprofessional like myself, of course, but he does come up with the goods from time to time.
Mr. Sholmes is equally complimentary about you, Inspector, isn't he? You've earned his highest praise. Gregson's a pick of a bad lot of all Scotland Yarders. Those were his own words.
That's his highest praise?
Well, Mr. Sholmes isn't particularly known for giving compliments, you see.
That he's not, and thanks to that magazine, my name's known all over London town now. That's great, isn't it? I have to admit, to start with, I was a little, well, flattered by all the attention. Everyone wanted to shake my hand, and my reputation at the Yard went through the roof.
Well, that's wonderful, then.
No, it's not. There's nothing more sinister than a man on the street. People are always looking at me now. They're whispering rumors about me under their breath, I'm sure.
Rumors? Are you quite sure?
He's changed and started appearing in the stories. The fame's gone to his head, stuff like that.
Gosh, do you really think people are saying such things, mean-spirited things about you?
Like I said, they whisper, so I can't exactly catch what they're saying. But I know what folk are like. I'm sure that's what they're saying. I'm sure as eggs is eggs. I want eggs. Eggs and french fries now. I get the feeling this detective would be very hard at work. Could be very hard work.
Oh dear. Perhaps the sudden rise of fame does change people.
Alright, case. Let's get on with this. Solve a potential murder? So, about the case that the Lord Chief Justice mentioned before. Nothing to tell, really. As far as we're concerned at the Yard, couldn't be simpler.
Oh dear. That probably means that as far as we're concerned as lawyers, it couldn't be more complicated.
I wish you were wrong about that, but I have a nasty feeling you're right. A young woman was walking along the pavement on Briar Road when she was stabbed from behind. Fortunately, it wasn't fatal, but she still laid up in the hospital unconscious.
That's despicable. What sort of coward would attack a poor woman from behind?
Yeah, I suppose you could have finished whoever... I suppose you would have finished whoever it was off with this exhaustive takedown, wouldn't you?
That is neither here nor there, Mr. Naruhodo.
Brace yourself, Ryunosuke, you've angered her. Anyway, after something of a whirlwind investigation, the criminal was arrested. He barely had time for a cup of tea after the incident took place, to be honest. So, there must have been something left of the scene that led you directly to the culprit? It's another M knife. Watch it be another M knife.
Or perhaps a reliable witness who recognized the person in question.
Let me stop you right there. You're wasting your time on this one.
Huh?
There's nothing you can do. There's no way to help the bloke now.
Why not?
Simple. Did he confess? Oh, no. The prosecutor that's been assigned to the trial tomorrow is Lord Beric Van Zieks.
No.
Sounds like you've heard of him then.
I suppose he's earned that, because every defendant he advocates against is found guilty, isn't that, right? Well, if that's the case, we should inform the Inspector that yesterday's trial against Lord Van Zieks, Mr. Naruhodo secured a verdict of not guilty.
And what of it?
Oh, well, I think that means that even against the Reaper of the Bailey, it's not impossible to save the defendant.
No, you really don't have a clue, do you?
Huh? What do you mean?
What happened to that bloke in the end, eh? He's dead. Magnus McGilday became a cropper in that omnibus when it went up in flames. So you can't rightly say you saved the defendant, can you?
Well, hold on. That happened off the clock, so I'm still okay. Huh? What are you saying?
Look, if Van Zieks could get the dirt to stick on everyone, he'd be a miracle worker. Well, that's not how it goes. He doesn't work miracles. He works magic. Black magic. I'd have a good long think about that if I were you.
Are we really supposed to believe that? I want french fries.
Right. Well, I filled you in as you requested, and I'm very nearly out of chips. Sorry, chips. That's right, I know that. I even said that earlier. So I'll be heading back to the crime scene now. We're still carrying out a few investigations here.
It was Briar Road, you said, didn't you? Where the incident took place?
That's correct, ma'am. And if you head over to the holding cells, you can meet the criminal himself.
You branded him a criminal already?
He is as good as. Shaking like a leaf in his cell, he is. It'll give you a chuckle if nothing else.
I want to meet him.
He's inmate 53. Speak to the jailer and he'll show you the way.
Inmate 53? Okay, thanks.
Let us go to the jail. Kind of... Oh, I gave a choice? Let's go to prison first. We'll talk to him, then we find some clues. Local prison. Cell... Oh, it's 9. We're 53, right? So these are the British prison cells?
Oh, they're ghastly. It feels just like a dungeon.
Yeah, and having experienced it in Japan myself, I can assure you that our wooden cells feel a lot cozier than these cold so I've been in jail.
Oh, don't, Mr. Naruhodo. You're making it seem worse.
Right. First one I got accused of murder. I forgot I got accused of murder twice. Apparently our client is in this cell here. But it's so dark in the back there I can't make him out. I wonder what he's like. Inmate 53, your legal representative is here to see ya. Stop hiding in the back of the cell and show your face at once.
Am I a cat as yet with no name?
Calling me by a number? It's utterly unbelievable. Unjustly unreasonable. I refuse to answer.
Mr. Naruhodo, what? What do you think is going on here?
I don't know, but I wasn't just hearing things, was I? Is it Herlock? Am I defending Herlock in trial? Oh. Oh, never mind. It's Japanese. Is it Hosonaga? That tirade of complaints was in Japanese. Oh, nope. I don't know you. Who the heck are you? Your eyebrows seem weird. Excuse me, but who— Shh, quiet!
They're all around, hiding. I know they are. They're watching, listening. Even now.
Oh wait, no, you can't have a whisper voice because Von Zeeks is going to be in the thing and I got to whisper for Von Zeeks.
They're watching, listening. Even now, I can sense it.
Yeah, that's good. Right, so could I ask you who exactly— There you are, you've come to curse me, haven't you? Don't try to hide it, you're a ghost. A ghost? You're very fidgety.
We mean you no harm, prisoner-san. Are you Japanese by any chance?
He anime-eyed up. This is beyond my wildest dreams. Forgive me for that outburst before. I'm so sorry. Oh, it's fine. We're just a little surprised, that's all. Imagine it! It's been 12 long months since I left my hometown, and here I am, in a frightful fix in a foreign land. So hearing the sweet, sentimental tones of a compatriot's voice here in this damp, dark hellhole was a most... Okay, sir. Monumental movie moment. Who could have guessed that this new client Lord Strongheart assigned to us would turn out to be a fellow Japanese? What compassion my fellow countrymen show to dispatch a first-class lawyer all the way from Japan to defend me, a mere foreign student. Noble, nurturing, never failing. Okay. A first-class lawyer? Oh no. I think there's something of a misunderstanding here, but I probably shouldn't tell him that.
I wonder, would you be so kind as to tell us what has happened?
Why you've been detained as a suspect, for example. Oh, yes, yeah, I can, I will. Shan't stay sullen and silent.
I'm not quite sure I understand what he means, but he seems happy.
Yeah, sure. I just hope he has actually good reason to be. Thank you for your cooperation. I'm a lawyer, as you said. My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
And I am Naruhodo-san's judicial assistant, Susata Mikatoba.
I am a visiting student sent here by our government. Notably, notoriously named Natsume. Soseki Natsume. Alright, Natsume, let's find out.
Soseki Natsume-san?
Oh, what an unusual name.
Call me Soseki, please. I'm a poet, you see, a writer of haiku. It's something of a nom de plume.
A nom de plume? You mean an alias? Oh, name of writer. Ha ha. Nom, name, and plume. Pen? Pen name. Yeah, I know some things.
That's right, Mr. Naruhodo-san.
No, don't be so prosaic. It's much more refined than that. And haiku? That really reminds me of home.
Did I hear you say you're a visiting student sent over here by the government?
Yes, that's right. A year ago, I was told to go study English. First I had to suffer that misery. And now this! It's beyond the pale! Suffer the misery? Did you not want to study here? No! I mean, I had an interest in Great Britain for some years, of course.
Oh.
But just because the government tells you to do something doesn't mean you can do it. No.
What do you mean?
If they told me to study English literature, that I could have understood. That's my field. But no, they told me to study the English language. Utterly, unbelievably, unjustly unreasonable.
I see.
Well, the other day I was told to send a report about my first year here. I tendered a blank piece of paper. White, words on white, washi.
White words on white.
No, I mean, no, that's not haiku at all. I'm sorry. I'm not counting like, was that a poem?
You must be a man of great standing.
Oh, yes. So I'm often told. And often like to be told, it seems. Could you perhaps tell us why you've exactly been arrested, Mr. Soseki-san? I didn't do it. I didn't commit that atrocious murder.
Murder?
Oh, no, it's alright. The woman didn't actually die, did she? But she was stabbed with a knife right before my eyes. Before your eyes? You mean you saw the attacker? I didn't see anyone. Huh? If I see the person who did it, do you think I'd be locked up in here? Yeah, maybe.
Oh dear. It seems this case is becoming rather complicated.
Why me? Why the silly woman had to be stabbed in front of me? It's the curse of London. It's incredibly, irritatingly inconvenient. So Soseki-san was there at the scene, but he didn't see the attacker?
It's vital we find out more about the case.
Oh, should I have gone to the place first? No. It wasn't a cursed everything. Just after the snow had stayed in the clear and heavy. It wasn't a cursed evening. Just after the snow had started to clear and heavy with fog. I'd been to the bookshop to buy some books, and I was on my way back to my cursed lodgings. Sure, the bookshop wasn't a curse too, was it? As I was walking along the accursed pavement, I could make out the sole silhouette of another one ahead of me. A woman wearing a green overcoat she was. And I just went to overtake her. I'm like looking around like, okay, scene. what do we have here? She suddenly let a little scream and collapsed onto the cold, hard slabs of stone at my feet.
Oh. How terrible.
I called out to the woman, but she didn't move. It was like a ghostly, ghoulish, grim graveyard. Slight exaggeration there, huh? I was terrified I had to get away from there. So I ran as fast as my legs could carry me on the back to my cursed lodgings. That's not good. You ran from the scene of the crime? They'll say it was shameful, I know, to run like that. Tell me, Sasaki-san, was the victim an acquaintance of yours? Don't be ridiculous! Do you think I know any of this fair-haired English? And a young woman, I mean, you've been here for a year. I'm diffident, shy, timid, unsure. I can't talk to people. Sure. A young woman unknown to Sasaki-san? At the time it happened, who else did you see nearby? Did anyone else pass you? Regrettably, apart from myself and the woman, I didn't see a soul. Huh? No one? Oh, great. So, the victim was unknown to you, and there was nobody else in the street at the time. That creates something of a conundrum, doesn't it? Huh? What's a conundrum? Conundrum? What do you mean, Suzato-san? What's the conundrum? Well, if what Sasaki-san just told us is true, there's something I can't explain. He says that he didn't know the victim, and that there was no one else at the scene. That apparently fled without having been seen. I did! But if that's the case, surely this man has to be the culprit. No, I mean, who reported this if no one saw and no one else was there? That's the key thing we're worried about here. What did you say? Nothing. Oops. Perhaps I thought that a little loudly. Actually, that's not what was troubling me. What I was thinking was, how did Sasaki-san actually come to be arrested? Huh? He didn't touch the victim, and there was nobody at the scene to see him. So how did the police ever discover that he was there in the first place? Oh yeah, huh? It was him. That accursed great detective. He led the police to me. Oh no, Herlock. Of all the bad luck. A cursed great detective? Could it be? Oh, I going against him in court? I shall never forget that man's name as long as I live. With his haughty laugh and his self-proclaimed greatness. Brash, big-headed, busybody, be gone! Hey. May you be cursed until the end of your days, Herlock Sholmes. I knew it. But yay. Mr. Sholmes? Herlock Sholmes. Well, I didn't expect to hear that name from this man's lips, that's for sure. It was the morning after the nightmare had unfolded on the pavement before me. I was gnawing on a sliver of hard cheese when some men suddenly burst into the door. They start shouting at me. This is the police, put the weapon down. Yes, it was a thin sliver, and yes, it was hard, but I wasn't eating a weapon. Disgusting dietary discrimination devils. You clearly had a trying morning yesterday. And there he was, in the middle of all the policemen, grinning like a Cheshire cat. That Herlock Sholmes. It's actually just Herlock Sholmes. He's English. I've since found out that he's a famous name in detection here in London. Yes, the great detective is really very well known. And his overly sharp mind managed to deduce my whereabouts apparently. He thinks I'm a knife-wielding madman. Me, this weak, stooped kitten of a man. I wonder what the great deduction process led him to this conclusion this time. Do you mean to say that Mr. Sholmes' deduction was the only reason the police arrested you? That would be really most unreasonable. Yeah, what happens? Do you leave? Well, the thing is, I was thrown into a panic when they barged their way in. Did you shout, "I didn't stab that woman"? Of course you were. That's only natural. I was terrified and trembling, and they kept throwing question after question at me. In impossible English. Fiendish, foreign, film, flammery. What? Flim-flammery. Well, we are in England. You can't really blame them for questioning you in English. Good point, good point. But my mind went blank. I knew I had to answer, but I didn't know what to say. So I just kept repeating things like, yes, I do, and I'm fine. Next thing I knew, I was in manacles. And before I knew it, I was thrown in here.
Oh dear, I'm afraid that's hardly surprising. I'm fine? Because I'm fine now.
So, he accidentally confessed because he doesn't speak the language. Mr. Naruhodo Esquire.
You can just call me Naruhodo. And when we're speaking English, a simple Mr. is more than enough.
Oh yes, I'm alright, yes sure. They've really got to me. This country is poisoning my mind. But please, I beg you to defend me in court tomorrow. You can tell them what really happened. You'll do it, won't you?
Well...
What? Why? Why is it so hard to say yes to me?
Well, the thing is, I'm just a student like yourself, on a study tour.
A student?
I've defended a case in the Old Bailey, only the one though. At this moment in time, I really don't know what I'm supposed to believe in.
I'm confused about what justice in this country even means.
I mean, not having this dude hanged for his murder, not murder attempt. That's justice. Oh, Mr. Naruhodo-san. I'm not even the foreign student who's supposed to be here. I'm a sort of locum lawyer, I suppose.
But the armband! That's the mark of the defense lawyer from our great empire.
It's a keepsake from the man who should have been here. He was my best friend.
Keepsake? I know exactly what they're saying about me.
Oh, what do you mean?
The lawyers, all the British defense lawyers, they won't defend me.
Goodness, why do you say that? Because no one's going to defend you tomorrow in trial, which is what the dude said?
For the same reason as you know before, when it happened. There was only the victim and myself around, and I ran away from the scene of the crime. I'm not a fool. I know it looks as though I must be the culprit.
It must be very hard for you, Sasaki-san.
And anyway, I'm a student from overseas. I'm just a foreign nobody to them, someone not to be trusted. I heard them openly laughing about me before, in my earshot without any compunction at all. Any trial for this man would be a waste of time, they said. And of course the foreigner did it. Oh, jeez. They even had the gall to say, the man doesn't understand half of what's being said anyway.
That's awful.
They're wrong. I've studied more English than half of the policemen out there on the streets. I traveled halfway around the world to learn about these people's country and its great history. But no one here wants to listen to a man with a strange accent. They all hate me. So at the very least, I like to entrust my fate to someone who can listen to me in my native tongue. You could do it, couldn't you?
Yeah, sure, I gotcha.
When I look into your eyes, I can see it. I can see what you've been through.
Sasaki-san, it's just that... You'll do it. Give me a little time, okay? I'll do what I can for the time being.
What do you mean?
We shall investigate the case as thoroughly as possible. If you find some more clues, it'll give us a much better chance, I'm sure.
Oh, yes, thank you. I'll be here, all alone, waiting for you. Locum student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. Okay, you don't say that.
We should be going then, Naruhodo-san. We have a case to prepare for.
Alright, let's go investigate the scene.
Ah, Mr. Naruhodo. Ah, look at that regulation metal helmet. It's unmistakable. The men of Scotland Yard are here. They're investigating as we speak. That's their job, you know. But Mr. Naruhodo, to see one with my own eyes. They're often depicted in the adventures of Herlock Sholmes, but I never dreamt I'd come this close. To a real Bobby's helmet. Huh? The helmet? Do you want one, Sasato? Of course. I have to try one on one day. Well, I hope your hatty dreams come true. If only we didn't, like, accuse the local hatter of, murder. Probably get one.
What's the Japanese delegation doing here? This isn't a tourist trail, I'm fairly sure you're well aware.
Yes, of course. We're here to investigate.
So you've been to the holding cells then? What do you make of the criminal?
He's not a criminal, as you put it, Inspector. He's a suspect.
We'll see about that. You Japanese like to stick together, I suppose. Dude, no, don't do that. Well, do what you will. Doesn't bother me. The book's in court tomorrow, whatever happens, and the verdict's a foregone conclusion. The still cold air of rejection.
Take heart. London this time of year is full of stone-cold air.
That makes it worse somehow, South the Sun. Alright, hold on. I don't care what you would say. I want to look around. Okay, another...
Oh! That's the Scotland Yard carriage. They use vehicles like that to rush to crime scenes and card away criminals.
You're very well informed, aren't you?
It's long been a dream of mine to ride one of those through the streets of London.
Well, just pick up a stone and throw it in one of the windows then.
But that would mean being arrested in order to ride it. Wouldn't it? Still.
If it's the only way— No!
Help me find a good stone.
No, this is not the sun. No, I wasn't serious. That's one of the officers from Scotland Yard. The police are making sure the crime scene's undisturbed. I have a feeling that if we wandered too close, we'll be clapped in irons.
I think perhaps you're being a little overcautious. We've done nothing wrong, so you have no cause for concern.
Oh no, I'm not getting caught again. Twice is enough. Twice I found myself in handcuffs, despite not knowing a thing about what was going on.
Yes, you've had some dreadful experiences. I'm sure that is a wide-eyed look of panic you're so prone to. It does you no favors at all.
This patch of pavement must be where the incident occurred.
Yes. It's a very wide open space, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true. I can't see anywhere an attacker could have been hiding. Oi! What are you foreigners doing here? Just investigating the scene, officer. Conspiring with that mustache fellow from Japan, are you? Huh? Conspiring? Come here to destroy evidence, have you? Get out of here before I give you an island. Go on.
He shooed us away like rats.
Yeah, we should give him a wide berth, I think.
What a disappointing experience. Tell me about Scotland Yard, Inspector. Ever since I read about the adventures of Herlock Sholmes, I've been fascinated by this place.
The Yard is the most sophisticated policing organization you'll find anywhere in the world, ma'am.
Oh, and you know, I've always dreamt of wearing a real Bobby's helmet.
It does make him look the part, seeing that policeman there with his helmet on. You certainly get the sense that this is a man who will take no nonsense in his duty of protecting the city.
Oh yes, doesn't he look wonderful?
Being a London Bobby is hard going, I can tell ya.
Oh, really?
First thing in the morning, you know what he does? Goes round and rouses all the laborers and on his beat so they can get off to work.
Huh? He wakes people up?
Yup, raps on their windows with a long pole. Did it myself going back a bit.
I had no idea.
The Bobby works for the people of the town, it's just another one of his duties. After that, he starts tirelessly patrolling the streets all day long. He has to cover 20 miles a day. That's the regulation distance. Can't really imagine how far that is, but it sounds like a long way. Oh, I would say like 20 miles is a lot.
Let me see.
It's a lot for every single day, like geez.
20 miles. That's approximately the distance from Tokyo to Yokohama.
On foot? That's definitely taking things a step too far. And when it gets dark, of course, he has the important job of lighting all the gas street lamps.
Oh my.
And I think he did the murder. And I suppose in between all his duties, Bobbies are expected to investigate cases as well.
And chase after criminals trying to evade the law.
I'm not sure you could call it in between exactly. More alongside, but yes. They're expected to handle those jobs well. We do have men keeling over from time to time, I admit.
I know he's dreamt of wearing one of those helmets, as I said. But it's with a heavy heart that I shall have to relinquish that dream to you, Mr. Naruhodo.
Why me? Your heavy heart will be a heavy head if you do. It happened around 5 in the evening, 2 days ago, just here on the open bit of pavement. The victim, a young woman who was stabbed with a blade from behind. Is it right the lady's still unconscious? You mentioned she's being treated in the hospital. I never said she was a lady. Oh, wait, what? Truth is, unless she comes around pretty smartish, we won't be able to find much about her at all. Okay, I suppose that means I haven't been able to take a statement from her, of course. Here's a map of the local area I happen to have on me. You can take it if you want.
Oh, really? Are you sure?
It's your policy to give lawyers defending suspects the odd bit of information to go on.
I haven't exactly accepted the job yet, but still. Thank you, Inspector. We'll gratefully accept.
Alright, map. Cool. Anyway, as far as we know, there's no one else at the scene other than the victim and your fellow countrymen. So who do you think did it? How much of a head-scratcher is it?
Well, I know Mr. Natsume is also claiming not to have seen anyone else around, but... just because he didn't see anyone, because all the gas lights were out, it doesn't mean to be sure that nobody else was present.
I'm sorry to tell you, but we most certainly can be sure.
How?
Because, ma'am, the precise moment of the stabbing didn't go unnoticed.
Wait, what?
We have 2 very reliable witnesses, no less.
Ah!
It was a typical foggy London day, and your client obviously didn't see them.
There were witnesses? So, who are these witnesses, Inspector?
A fellow and his wife, and the man's one of the most reliable, respected citizens in all of London. He's a copper from Scotland Yard.
Oh. A policeman? Okay, that might change things. And this policeman just happened to be there the exact moment the woman was attacked?
Nothing peculiar about that, ma'am. Part and parcel of being a bobby, catching them banging the act and all that.
Do you think it might be possible for us to ask that policeman a few questions?
Be my guest. You can ask him what you like. In court tomorrow.
Fine.
I have no doubt he'll be summoned as a witness. So that'll give you something to look forward to.
And that's that then. He's got no intention of letting us meet the man beforehand, it seems. A policeman witnessed the incident? As your judicial assistant, I must warn you that this could make our job very difficult indeed. I mean, yeah, we're going against the police and Von Zeeks and Herlock. Yeah, as a non-judicial assistant, I could have warned me of that too. Yeah, one more thing, Inspector.
What?
The person who led you to the suspect. I hear that was Mr. Herlock Sholmes.
What are you bringing him up for?
Well, there's something I said. The color drained from his cheeks.
Who did you hear that name from?
Oh, well, it was Mr. Natsume who mentioned it. He said that Mr. Sholmes was with the police when they entered his lodgings. I'm sure it was a result of Mr. Sholmes' inspirational great deductions.
Fiddle-faddle. The man's an amateur. I'm getting sick and tired of him showing his mug everywhere.
Oh,
I don't know where he gets his information from, but he turns up at the scene of the crime. Wanders about spouting incomprehensible rubbish, and before you know it, he claims to have solved the case.
Yeah, he's quite astounding, isn't he? He's a great help to Scotland Yard, though, isn't he?
Gibble gobble. Ever seen this before?
Yeah, that's Rand's magazine. The wonderful publication in which the adventures of Herlock Sholmes appears.
Yeah, well, that wonderful publication, as you put it, sees fit to include several of the Yard's detectives in its stories. And the so-called Great Detective makes a mockery of us. If you ask anyone in the Yard, it's a misadventure to be included in any Herlock Sholmes tale at all.
Oh, well, I suppose there's an element of that.
We work our socks off, every one of us, only to be frumped by the public thanks to that obnoxious detective. The man's as dangerous to us at Scotland Yard as he is to all our criminals.
That can't really be true, can it, Inspector?
Clearly, the Great Detective and the police have a complex relationship. Alright, let's wrap up our investigation. That twitchy Japanese bloke goes on trial tomorrow. Are you gonna defend him or not?
Well, yeah?
Makes no difference to me, but I will just say this. No London lawyer with assault would touch this case with the barge the barge pull. Because of the prosecution being handled by the Reaper of the Bailey, you mean? There's no way to save the man now. It'd be a waste of time trying. It is all a bit strange, though.
Huh?
The Reaper. He hasn't appeared in court once for years now. I mean, yesterday.
Yes, we did hear something like that to the effect.
And the people he usually bothers with are the real scum. The master criminals, the violent ones.
Master criminals? The violent ones?
That's right. He handpicks his victims. Only deals with those guaranteed to go to the gallows for their sins.
Wait, but Mr. Natsume wouldn't hang for what he's accused of, surely.
That's just my point, Sunshine. Yes, the young one was stabbed, but it didn't kill her. Couldn't even say the intent was there. So this isn't the sort of case I'd be expecting the Reaper to want to sink his teeth into, for want of a better phrase.
Well, not exactly a minor infraction, is it?
No. There's gotta be more to it. For some reason he's taken an interest.
Really? What sort of reason, Inspector?
You think I can tell what's going on inside the head of that Lord of Darkness? You'll have to ask him yourself at tomorrow's trial.
We're really going to face the Reaper again? The Lord of Darkness, as you put it? Oops. Well, I don't think we're going to get any more useful information out of this detective. Mr. Naruhodo, can I make a suggestion? Huh? Yeah, of course. What is it? Well, it seems to me that we must speak with him about this. By him, do you mean Mr. Sholmes? Yes, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, exactly. Look at those shining eyes. You can't wait, can you? Well, Mr. Natsume did blame Mr. Sholmes for all this, didn't he? Yes, he did. He really did. Which makes him an involved party in the case. Are you just going to ignore that? I hope not. I assure you, it's not simply my selfish desire to meet I assure you, it's not simply my selfish desire to meet with Mr. Sholmes again. I mean, it's my selfish desire, so... The trouble is, we have no idea the man's address, even. It's Baker Street. It's 221B Baker Street. Everyone knows this. Duh. How do you know that? It's in the stories, of course. 221B Baker Street, the most famous address in the world. Oh, yeah, sure. I guess there's nothing to stop us from going then, I guess. Well, we better try to find our way there before Suzato-san gets any more excited. Hurrah! I'll summon a carriage. So, we'll have a reunion already. With the Great Detective, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the time, I'm like... I think I'm cutting enough that if it's not a long conversation with Mr. Sholmes, we can do it. We can make it.
Thank you very much. It's just up there overlooking the street. Good day. Thanks again.
Thanks again. Yeah, you're not getting that voice. 221B!
That's it. The residence of Mr. Herlock Sholmes.
Like, do we get a cutscene with him? No, darn. So this is where the great detective makes his living. It feels surreal to be here somehow. This is a lot, sir. Hold on. Do you shoot VR? Into the... Okay, I don't remember too many Sherlock Holmes stories. I can't think of a character in VR for their initials. Okay, like, I know the violin. It's got this. Is it as it's described in the stories, Mrs. Sato? Suzato-san? She's so happy. Many famous cases have been solved here in this very room. Oh, I suppose they must have been, yeah. I've never read the story, so it's hard to get quite as excited about it as she seems to be. The detective chases the villain relentlessly as he disappears into the fog down an unlit London street. Oh, the thrill of it, the romanticism. Can't you feel your heart thumping in your chest? Can't you, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, I suppose I can, sure. So if you don't mind, I'll just stand here and soak up the atmosphere for a while longer. Please don't mind me. She's obsessed. Easy. Well, it looks like your detective friend isn't home at present. Excuse me, is anybody home? Oh, it's that little girl. It's the little girl, isn't it? Do we have a visitor? Yeah. Hi. Hi, Chippy Moon. Hello. Is it a big new case for Mr. Sholmes? Hello? Wait. Aren't you... Oh, how rude of me. I'll go and make some tea at once. Yeah, I'm sure it's the same girl. Mrs. Sato, did you see the girl who was just here? Oh yes. Isn't it truly extraordinary? To think that the King of Bohemia came to this very room to ask Mr. Sholmes to take on his case. The King of Bavaria? Really? Really, Sato? King Wilhelm Gottschalk Sigismund von Ormstein, of course. Forget the adventures of Herlock Sholmes for a moment, okay? And look over there. The tea's brewed. I have a freshly baked cake as well. Ah, it's you. I knew it. Suzato-san recognizes her too. How do you not? I've never met a lawyer from the Far East before. Poor you, having to get straight to work when you've only just arrived in London. Oh, yeah, it was challenging. Well, try this tea. It's my special blend, you know. Oh, thanks, I guess. Is tea supposed to look like color? Oh my, what a fragrant yet mellow flavor. Hooray, it's a winner! I tried blending different leaves together. I tried blending different leaves designed to alleviate fatigue, you see? You must be exhausted after your long voyage here. And you have another ticklish trial tomorrow. Oh, and you're here to defend a Japanese man. I do wish you lots and lots of luck. Did Mr. Sholmes tell you about us by chance? Oh, you know Hurley, do you? Hurley? Mr. Sholmes to you, surely. Mr. Sholmes is a fellow passenger on the boat that brought us to Great Britain, you see. Was he really? Wow, I had no idea. I'm afraid Hurley's out on an errand today, even though he's just returned from overseas. What? We met this girl for the first time ever yesterday after the trial, and only briefly at that. How does she still know so much about us? Did she deduce all those things, do you think? And you know what? I think I'm reaching my time here. Find out next episode. Alright, So I'll see you guys all soon, later this week. Bye.